keep moving forward is good, but sometimes you gotta stop from people you love. Sometimes you gotta stop from people that means more to you than you mean to yourself.
Hi, I'm Plautus, and this video is about Mike Tyson. And this is a bit of a different video, so I thought Mike Tyson was inspirational after watching some interviews of the older Mike Tyson, sort of the philosopher Mike Tyson, on some interview shows and some podcasts. I thought what he had to say was really interesting. What I thought was the most fascinating was how connected he is with the psychology and philosophy of boxing and being a fighter. I viewed boxing as something really physical, where you train to be a fighter and you trained your body and you trained your strategy, but really he has become the ultimate champion and needed to become the ultimate champion psychologically and philosophically. Studied fighters and studied different ways of living and really applied those principles to be the best. I thought it was an interesting study of what it takes to be at the top of your field, the top of your sport, the top of an art career. So I hope you find this helpful for musical endeavors or whatever endeavors you have.
My mother's she's a Southern woman from the Virginia area, and this is what I found out later. And I only can remember for a small period of real small increment of my life that I lived in Bedford-Stuyvesant in the early middle 70s. Eventually, we had to move. We were evicted. We had to leave the house. All of our furniture was really politely decorated, the concrete outside. So we had to, me and my brother, I guess we had to sit on the furniture to wait till my mother can get a place for us to stay. And it was just after that, it was pretty much hard times, welfare. When we moved to Brownsville, which was a much more aggressive neighborhood. And it just wasn't good. It was just crime-infested, drug-infested neighborhood, and it was very aggressive. And my mother knew a lot of men. Her and her friends knew a lot of men. It wouldn't be abnormal for me to come from one of my friends' houses, to come from outside a man and a woman is in one of my mother's room, or my mother's in a room with a man and a woman, and we can't go in the room, but we have to stay outside in the kitchen, perhaps, or the living room, and we can't go in the back of the room until they're finished. And that's just how our life's been. And as time went on, I've learned to while people were in the back, that I would, and they fell asleep, I would go in their pockets and take their money. And that's just how it's been. That's just what it was all about. I learned how to steal at a young age.
Very young age.
Yeah, very young. I learned how to steal. I learned how to, when my mother's friends were in her house, they were drinking, I learned to go in their house from a fire escape and rob their house while they were downstairs drinking with my mother. And that's just what I learned to do in my life.
So when did you fight back? When was your first fight?
Over a pigeon. This guy came to steal my bird, and he had one of my birds, and I was like, please give me my bird, please. And he fat, such and such, and all these explicit names. And there was a guy, when he took the bird, he broke his head up and he hit me with the bird's body, the blood was on me. And there was a guy that was with him. They came to bully me too. And he said, you better fight him. He was so mad that this guy did this to me. He was with the guy. And he walked around and said, you better fight him now. And I got real scared then. That guy, he's on his side and he's telling me to fight the guy, and he had emotions about it. And so I fought him, and I used to always have this guy named Wise. He was a hustler guy. And I used to always smoke weed with him. I was like 11, we used to smoke weed, but he's like 18. I was always watching, he used to be an amateur boxer. He used to always be shadow boxing. And I always watched him. Box. I never fought though, but I always watched him. And I had that fight. I did stuff that he was teaching me. I never practiced with him, I was watching him. And I did what he was watching. I skipped, I dropped the guy, and everybody started applauding me. And it was a wrap. Then I'm fighting every day now. He was a street fighter like me.
You identified with him.
Yeah, he was cruel and mean. I never looked at Ali. I respected Ali and I worshipped Ali, but he was very tall and very handsome. I was very short and not so handsome, and I wasn't good looking. And he was very I don't know, I mean, articulate, and I spoke with a lisp, and I didn't relate to two besides we were black. Ali was a middle-class kid here. The mother and father that both worked. My mother and father was in the sex industry. So and Roberta the grandmother was pretty much, out there as well. And so I related to that. And I didn't have to change. I didn't have to change my diction. I didn't have to learn how to talk polite. I didn't have to be nice. I didn't have to have a proper linguistic skill. And so if he could be accepted and be worshipped that way, I thought I would be able to as well.
And for people who don't know, who was Cus D'Amato?
Cus D'Amato is the world's greatest fight trainer and manager. He is my manager and trainer. He, 13 years old, he taught me how to fight. And I'm the greatest fighting machine ever because he was my trainer. That's the only reason. Anybody else, I wouldn't be nothing. I'd be average. Cus D'Amato made me greater than what I ever dreamed to be.
So he had you come and live with them so that you could train full time?
Yes.
So the goal was, we're going to make you the champion.
I came at 13, and at 20 I was champion.
And he adopted you when you were about 14?
14, 15.
So he really cared about you.
You know, this is interesting. A lot of people don't think he did. They just thought he wanted, he didn't listen. They thought he wanted fame and money. He never took a penny from me. When I went broke, he had $200,000 waiting for me because, like he said, I knew you were going to waste everything, so I had this for you, you know? I didn't know what to do. I just constantly humbling me. That's all he has to do. That's all he wants to do is humble me every time I get big-headed. You know, put me in my place. But when I'm doing it to somebody else, he wants me to do it. But if I'm trying to be arrogant around him, he puts me in my place.
He would make you mop the floor, right, of the gym?
Listen, I don't mind that. I asked them, like, who do you think you are? That made me feel like I did something wrong when he said that to me.
He would still tell you things, though, like, you're going to be the greatest, you're going to have big houses, you're going to be around the world, and people are going to love you.
Yeah, he said that too, but he said, I can see you're not going to listen to me, you're not going to learn. You know what I mean? You gotta get hurt to learn. You don't learn, you don't listen well, I could tell. He's right.
What was his personality like?
When everything's going well, I'm winning all the fights, it's beautiful. He can't get drunk enough. That's why every time I go to this headstone, I always pour champagne, because he loves champagne after every fight, every tournament, he always drank. I didn't drink really back then, but he always drank, like to celebrate for the championships. He made everything small, real big. Anything, like if he's eating a pizza, oh, I've been all over the world, I ate pizzas all over the world. This is the greatest pizza in the world. He made everything exciting. You're talking about a cigarette butt. He makes it so glorious. A cigarette butt. He has the...
And you said he had intimidation down to a science. Yeah. So what would he do to intimidate you?
He didn't have to say nothing. That was scary enough. You know, when he just didn't say nothing. If I did harbor in the gym, he wouldn't even talk. I'd be so miserable. I got something to kill that guy tomorrow, we box. You know, always wanted to make him happy. I know by becoming champ would make him happy. That was the only thing he dreamed about was fighting. Heavyweight champ, that's all he dreamed about. That's all he dreamt about. That's all he dreamt about was fighters. I respect a person who's willing to die for what he truly wants. Even if it's love, even if it's a woman, whatever it is that he truly believes in, and that he believes that it transcends him to that level to demand for love. For instance, I look at love as a command to just rise to your greatest potential. You know, and that's how people should feel. Their objective should be to rise to their best potential in life. If it's to lose 30 pounds, if it's to pass a test, it should be to win a fight, to be admired by people all over the world. It should allow you to rise to your greatest potential, that you look at yourself in the most grandest fashion. He fought the fight of his life. But this is what we talk about character, and determination. I handled my loss. I came back. I won the title 2 more times. You know, that doesn't mean I'm greater than him. That means I didn't give up. I didn't give up where some agree where he gave up. I wasn't going to do that. And I realized when you come and you're not quitting, anything can happen.
A line of George Orwell where he says autobiography is only to be trusted when it reveals something disgraceful. A man who gives a good account of himself is probably lying, since any life, when viewed from the inside, is simply a series of defeats.
Well, now that's pretty profound, but I just actually don't believe somebody's going to read this book and say, whoa, I'm envious of this guy's life and I'm jealous of this guy. They're not going to do that if they read this book.
Maybe I'm a perfectionist because I don't believe I ever be perfect. You know what I mean? Perfect. Suppose you hit the spot. What makes it above perfect? Where in that spot of the target makes it above perfect? It doesn't, huh? They don't have no scale that's beyond perfect. So how do we know the target's perfect? If it's nothing beyond perfect, how do we know it's perfect?
So it's just a continuing process.
Over and over and over and over again.
You know, Walt Disney, his famous phrase was keep moving forward. Keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward is good, but sometimes you gotta stop from people you love. Sometimes you gotta stop from people that means more to you than you mean to yourself. You can't keep walking because sometimes you leave a lot of people behind that need your help. You know, you can't just keep walking. You know, people that talk like that, that's because they deal with a lot of people that say they can never do nothing, the people that believe in them. But you gotta stop. You can't keep walking. Can't keep walking. Gotta stop. Gotta stop. Gotta show some knowledge, some love to people. Whatever you have, that's great. You have to stop. You always gotta stop. Can't go forward unless you stop. You can't. Having all that knowledge means nothing if you don't share it. That's the only purpose of knowledge, is to share it. If you have all the knowledge and you didn't share it, who are you? You're an idiot. If you have it all and no one else have anything, you're in the minority now. If you have it all and everybody else has nothing.
And you were the best fighter.
Yeah, but in life, that's not a good way to think. And fighting is great, but in life, it's reckless. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
To be successful in one field is disastrous in another field.
Right. Yeah.
Like with you were great in rap, but in life you were kind of shaky.
Yeah. Oh, I was shit. I
I
have an 8th grade education.
No, it has nothing to do with the education. It was the pressure. All of a sudden, boom, they're in your face. And people are judging you, and you got we have a little weird self-esteem anyway. Now people are judging us, saying things about it, and we get defensive. And when we get defensive, we play into their game.
Yeah.
You know.
Listen, I'm a fucking student of war. I know all the warriors from Charlemagne, Achilles, the #1 warrior of all warriors. From then Alexander, Napoleon, I know them all. I read them all, I studied them all. I know the art of fight, I know the art of war. That's all I ever studied. That's why I'm so feared. That's why they feared me when I was in the ring. Because I was an annihilator. That's all I was born for. And now those days are gone. It's empty. I'm nothing. I'm working on the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more.
Your most famous quote, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth, face?
Face, mouth.
Where did that quote come from?
My mentor.
Mr. Cus?
Because everybody was saying, I got the plan to beat Mike Tyson. I got the plan to beat Mike Tyson. Yeah, they all got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And he was right. See, I say punch in the face because punch in the mouth is so dated. It's like in the 30s and 20s they said that stuff.